If you've been feeling stuck or scared to show up, this is for you. Hi, my love. If you found this video, I want you to know this isn't random. This moment found you because there is something inside you that's ready to rise. Maybe you've been avoiding the things that you know matter to you. Maybe it's one of your projects, your purpose, your voice, your visibility. Maybe you keep putting it off, overthinking it, doubting yourself, telling yourself, I'll start when I feel more ready, when I'm more confident, when it's perfect. But deep down, you know that moment never really comes on its own. And that's exactly why we are here today. Because there is something sacred about this kind of stuckness. It's not laziness, it's not failure, it's a message. And if you've been judging yourself for procrastinating, avoiding, freezing, I want to gently offer another perspective. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are just carrying a lot. And your nervous system might be trying to protect you. That doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. And the more you understand the psychology behind avoidance, the more compassion you can bring to yourself instead of shame. So let's talk about what's really happening underneath these blocks. Because when you see the truth clearly, the fear loses its power. Avoidance is one of the most natural things we do when we feel unsafe, uncertain, or overwhelmed. It doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like scrolling, overthinking, distracting yourself, telling yourself you're going to do something and then not doing it again and again. But underneath that cycle is usually something really tender. Some kind of fear, some kind of pressure or wound. In psychology, this can be tied to the freeze response, which is when your nervous system is saying, this is too much. And instead of fighting or running, your body freezes. It shuts down. You might feel tired, numb, unmotivated, like you have so many ideas but zero energy to act on them. That's not you being lazy. That's a nervous system response. And this is actually so common for people who are healing, especially those of us who have been through any sort of trauma, shame, rejection, or just life. When you've experienced moments where being seen didn't feel safe, or when your worth felt tied to how perfect or productive you were, your body learns to protect you through avoidance. And that is why awareness is everything. You are not lazy. You are protecting yourself. Avoidance isn't failure. It's a freeze response. And once you understand it, you can move through it with way more compassion and way less shame. And I'll be honest with you, this isn't something I'm above. It's something I still move through too. There are days where I feel so clear on my purpose, and then resistance kicks in. Suddenly I'm thinking, what if people don't like this? What if I'm too much? What if I'm not ready? Even filming this video took more emotional energy than I expected. Not because I don't believe in it, but because being seen is a lot. Creating something from your heart and sharing it with the world, it takes courage. So if you are struggling to start or keep showing up, I want you to know, me too. And the fact that you are even watching this means your soul hasn't given up. You are still reaching for clarity. You are still open. And that is so powerful. So instead of beating yourself up, let's try something different. Let's start by reframing what this block actually is. Here's something I want you to remember. You are not stuck. You are becoming someone you have never been before. You are stepping into a version of yourself that holds more truth, more light, more freedom. And sometimes the discomfort we feel is just the tension between the old version of us that kept us safe and the new version that's trying to be born. That feeling of why can't I just do it? That's the bridge. You are not meant to rush through it. You were meant to witness it, to soften through it, to listen. Because underneath the block is usually a younger version of you that's still afraid. Maybe the version of you who got laughed at for speaking up, or the one who got punished for being different, or the one who learned to hide, to stay small, to be liked. And now you are trying to break free from all of that, which is why it feels hard, but also why it is so important. You are not behind. You are in between. The old you is shedding, the real you is arriving. And sometimes the block is just your soul asking to slow down and trust the process. So now that we've softened into the truth that you are not lazy, you're not failing, and you're definitely not alone, let's talk about what can actually help. Because even though awareness is the first step, we also need practices that remind our body and mind it's safe now. I don't have to hide. I am allowed to move forward. And the best part is that these don't have to be big or dramatic changes. In fact, some of the most powerful shifts can come from the smallest steps done with intention. When you are in a freeze state, everything can feel overwhelming. Even simple things like getting out of bed, answering texts, or starting a project. So the key here isn't to force your way through it. It's to signal safety to your body. Here's how to break the freeze response. Move gently. Breathe slowly. Speak kindly. You don't need to push. You just need to signal safety, and your body will start to trust again. Here's something I've learned through experience. When you feel stuck, don't try to do everything. Just do one thing that gives you energy. For example, light a candle, say a prayer, put your phone across the room, open your notes app and write one sentence, make your bed, drink some water. Let it be small but meaningful, because when you take one action that feels aligned and doable, it breaks the spell. You start to build trust with yourself again, and you start to remember, I don't need to finish the whole thing today. I just need to begin again. That's how momentum works. So the next time you feel stuck, just do one thing and let that one thing be enough, because movement doesn't need to be massive. It just needs to be real. And now I want to offer some affirmations that help me when I feel blocked, frozen, or unsure how to show up again. You can say these out loud or write them in your journal, or just let their energy move through you. I am safe to create at my own pace. I don't have to be perfect to be powerful. My voice matters even if it shakes. My creativity is not performative. I trust that what's meant to flow through me will. I'm allowed to rest and I'm allowed to rise. I am not behind, I am becoming. Let those words land in your body. Repeat them whenever doubt creeps in. And remember, you are not lazy. You are healing. You are growing. You are softening into truth. So now that we've softened the freeze response and created some safety in our system, let's move into one of the biggest things that keeps us blocked: the fear of being seen. And honestly, this one is so sneaky because sometimes we think we're just procrastinating. We think we're not ready or don't have time. But really, we are afraid of what it means to let ourselves be visible. This is deeper than just being camera shy or whatever. The fear of being seen is oftentimes a nervous system response that is rooted in childhood experiences where it wasn't safe to express yourself. Moments when you were mocked, criticized, or misunderstood. Times when being too much or too emotional got you hurt. Or internalized beliefs that your worth depends on being perfect. So when you're going to show up now, your body remembers those old patterns and it says, let's just avoid this. It's safer that way. Even if you want to speak or create or post, there's a part of you that's still trying to protect you from pain. And that's okay. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It means you're healing. The fear of being seen isn't a flaw. It's a wound. And when your body avoids showing up, it's not because you're weak. It's because a younger part of you still believes that hiding will keep you safe. Let's talk about another layer of this: the fear of being judged. This one is so common, especially for women, especially for those of us who were raised to be polite, perfect, pleasing. We carry this fear that if we're too honest, too expressive, too different, someone will come for us. And maybe in the past they did. But here's the thing: you are not who you were when that happened. You are wiser now, more grounded, more supported, more ready. And honestly, being judged is nowhere near as painful as staying hidden. Because when you hide, you become the one judging yourself. And that voice hurts more than anyone ever could. Staying hidden doesn't protect you from judgment. It just makes you judge yourself. The real pain isn't being seen. It's shrinking yourself to avoid it. So let's talk about something super real: the overthinking spiral that happens right before we post or share something vulnerable. The endless what ifs. What if I sound silly? What if people from back home see it? What if no one likes it? What if this makes people uncomfortable? Let me gently say this: it is not your job to control how everyone receives you. It is your job to be in integrity with yourself. So here's a powerful question I like to ask before I share anything: is this true for me? If yes, then that's enough. You are allowed to share things that are true for you, even if someone else isn't ready to hear it. You're not doing things to be approved. You're doing it to free the parts of you that don't want to hide anymore. And that's enough. Before you do something, ask yourself, Is this true for me? If yes, then that's enough. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be real. And real is always enough. Okay, so now that we've softened the fear of being seen and the judgment that oftentimes keeps us frozen, let's zoom out a little because not everyone's blocks look the same. Some people might feel stuck when it comes to setting boundaries. Some might freeze when it's time to make a decision. Others might avoid rest or dating or even going after what they say they want. Because avoidance can show up in so many different ways in life. Sometimes what looks like laziness is actually self-protection. And what looks like procrastination is actually fear. You might not even realize you're avoiding something because the brain is so clever. It will disguise avoidance as, I'm just not in the mood, or I need to do more research, or even, I'll start when the timing feels more aligned. But if we're being honest, sometimes that alignment we're waiting for is really just the absence of fear. And the truth is, that fear might not leave, but you can still move. Even if it's gentle, even if it's just one decision today. What if the thing you're avoiding isn't hard? It's just tied to an old wound. And what if your resistance is actually your body saying, I need you to move through this with love, not pressure? Let's reframe all of this right now. If you've been feeling stuck, blocked, frozen, avoidant, that does not mean you're lazy. That does not mean you are not serious about your growth. That does not mean you are falling behind. What it actually means is that a part of you is trying to expand, but hasn't fully felt safe yet. And when your nervous system doesn't feel safe, it will stall. It will overthink. It'll make excuses. Not because you're weak, but because you are wired to survive. But the good news is, you don't have to force yourself out of it. You can gently lead yourself forward with compassion, with grace, with reminders like, it's safe for me to take one small step. I don't have to know everything to begin. Nothing is wrong with me for needing time. You are not stuck because you're lazy. You are stuck because a part of you is scared. And scared parts don't need punishment. They need safety. They need love. They need you. So let's seal this in because I want you to remember something. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's not about finally doing all the things or checking every box. It's not about proving that you are healed or productive or spiritual enough. It's about learning how to meet yourself with softness, with honesty, with the kind of love that says, even if I'm not ready yet, I still belong. You're not behind. You are in a transition. And transition can feel like fog, not clarity. It feels like a pause, not progress. It feels like rest, not reward yet. But that doesn't mean you're not evolving. It just means you're human. So let's take a breath right here. Breathe in. And on the exhale, let go of any pressure to be perfect, to be further ahead, to be someone you're not. Because who you are right now, even in your stuckness, is worthy of so much love and grace and progress. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't need to explain your timing. You are allowed to move slowly, gently, and with love. That is still progress. That is still enough. This chapter might feel confusing. You might be doubting yourself more than usual. You might feel like no one understands what you're carrying. But I want you to hear me. You are not lost. You are not doing it wrong. And you are definitely not alone. This moment, this exact place where it feels like nothing's happening, is often where everything is shifting. So you're not waiting. You are rising, even when it's invisible, even when it's internal, even when it's hard to explain. And the version of you who shows up with love instead of fear, that version is already here. You are just letting them lead now. If this spoke to you, if you feel even a little more seen, more safe, or more whole after watching this, then you are part of this soul family now. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep healing and rising together. And if you know someone who's been feeling stuck or overwhelmed, send this their way because they deserve to know too. They're not lazy, they're not broken, they are just becoming. And so are you. So, with all of that being said, let's continue to rise together.